Thank you, Madam Speaker. And members, we have heard quite a bit tonight through the afternoon also about both sides of this. And to Representative Winkler, I appreciate the amendments that were taken onto this bill. I've had an opportunity to hear this in 2 of my committees, but what I keep going back to is when I had an opportunity to serve as the vice chair of the Select Committee on Racial Justice with Representative Richardson as a co-chair and Representative Moran. And I keep thinking back to the conversations and the testimony that we heard during that time that talked about how the Black community was unfairly targeted by the tobacco industry and the devastating effects, detrimental and negative effects that that had on that community. And so we were looking for ways, what could we do to make a change with that? And out of the 83 recommendations, there were a few that applied directly to the tobacco industry, and they were to possibly appropriate money for effective tobacco control program to enhance prevention, for treatment, and to combat the youth tobacco problem and to prevent our youth from using it. There was also going to be the ban on the sale of menthol and flavored tobacco products. So when I think of this bill, I wonder, what are we doing? Why would we want to do this? Specifically for the part that talks about with the Cannabis Management Board and the ability for that social equity applicant status. So why would we want to, again, target low-income minority communities where they would have the most or potentially the most of the cannabis retailers? That is not what we want to do. That's not a good replay on history. We've learned from that. Is this a topic that should keep going forward and we should talk about? Yeah, I believe that. And I do have to say that I've heard from very few of my constituents, but the ones I've heard from have said, an owner of a trucking company, this would be devastating for me. This is not good. There's work that has to be done. So I am in opposition to this bill, but overall, the most that I've heard right now with just a few days left from my constituents is, help me out with the PPP relief. We waited for this, we were promised this. I heard from a CPA today saying, do you have, as I was driving in, do you have any intel? Is there gonna be a chance? And I said, well, there's always hope. But I do have the opportunity to visit with a local radio station every Friday afternoon. And last Friday, he said, hey, what are the chances? Do you think there's gonna be some movement? And I said, well, you know what, we haven't passed any budget bills yet, but I'm hopeful that by Friday, so tomorrow at 12:30, I'm hopeful that I was gonna be able to tell him, yes, we have. But unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to tell him. So again, I'm no on this bill. I look forward to those budget bills, but specifically that unemployment and PPP relief that my constituents are so looking for. Thank you, Madam Speaker.